So it's the 5 brew. DJ's playing the Grim, by the way, so I don't know how they're gonna. Well, I guess they like change between the.
It always feels like
farm.
DJ is that guy that you want to make big plays.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Grimstroke is necessarily the hero that always does it. Like, he could be cool, but it's always like, I think about Inkswell setting up for somebody else.
So other thing we do have to always be taking a look for is, of course, that Dispel. I know Black had mentioned on the panel being able to Dispel the Lich Armor, but the other thing you can also, use it on is Familiars. That being said, though, Familiars, the Gravekeeper Cloak is probably going to tank the majority of it.
Right.
So the damage won't be massive, but yeah, being able to use that on summons can be pretty useful.
But if you're too far away from the Visage, you don't impart that cloak onto him either. So need to make sure that he's that extra little bit close to it as Jabs. Gonna go immediately into that Jungle Ball. Good snowball there to dodge the stun. Don't know if it's gonna be enough to keep him alive as Chongqing trying to run away, and
Chongqing's okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
All right, and they're running this, you don't see like Visage being, you're like, oh god, Visage in an offensive lane, but it's a tri-lane. And with Rise of tri-lanes, that's where the power of Visage can be, especially with like tag team with 2 ranged heroes as well as Abed. Ooh, 8 the triple raise at the start.
Scary stuff there. As the, move in again, Inkswell going to be able to dodge it with the snowball. A very easy answer there. And meanwhile, gonna need to walk away. He's on 4 HP.
Oh my goodness. Geez. This is a cool approach though by ASD in the mid lane, right? He's playing versus this Tinker, and he knows Tinker has laser level 1, so instead of going for souls, he actually went for the raise to try to harass, either go for the kill and get some last hits. Now he's kind of pulled a bit out of mana here, but have to try to do something because this is a matchup that Tinker loves to play against. Shadowfiend, very squishy hero. You can go like 2-2, you can go your laser rocket build or hold points, and you can threaten kills constantly.
Brought out a sentry ward as well. It looks like it's going to be hard for him to find that ward. What's up on the very, very north side of the high ground.
Yeah.
Just barely way up there, actually.
Yeah, no way he's going to be able to ward that one. We have a 1v1 of Ice versus Faith Beyond. As we've seen Faith Beyond this time around, not on a huge playmaker, as we have seen him really dominating on, in particular when he's playing the Tiny. But he's playing just this Underlord, which can be a bit of a powerhouse, especially versus like this lineup where Pipe is going to be so damn valuable.
Yeah, it does so much for them.
Yeah, Pipe being you can't dispel it, of course, with the Brew makes it that much better, of course, versus Tinker. If he goes for Crimson Guard, of course, you can dispel the guard effect with Brew, but cannot dispel Pipe.
Yeah, we'll also maybe go into Guardian Greaves in the later stages as well. We could see the SF go for it also. That's been one of the more popular builds.
Yeah, ASD was the one who did the phase drum.
Right. We'll have to wait and see which way he wants to go for that. But a little pull comes off here, able to take away the majority of these creeps, and also DJ trying to get some extra damage in there while he gets the deny. So, pretty good control of the lane equilibrium here as Sven not often seen in the carry role anymore.
No, definitely not. Hero just has a hard time. He just gets kited really hard, usually, in most games. And you're really relying on your God Strength, which is quite a bit cool.
Oh, they do have the tag team trying to keep Ego alive, and they're going to slow him down with that Soul Assumption. Lots of damage. Everybody's taking it now. Visage dishes it out. First blood drawn by the Visage and chasing forward. See if they can find that kill in the tusk. They will be able to bring him down. He's got 3 charges there of that Soul Assumption if he wants to turn and throw it out onto MP, but look like he decides to go for it.
Yeah, stick charges in Mango. Mid lane looks like it's a pretty big battle of regen, in particular for ASD. He's constant, like he's probably just telling his team, nobody can use courier except for me for these first 5 minutes. Versus Tinker, I need to be bringing tangos and mangoes. It's all about this 1v1. And he's only 100 net worth behind. He's doing pretty well, even though he's having to ferry all that regen out versus Abed.
Hey, you love to see that.
Yeah.
And of course, this is a hero that can retreat back to the jungle at the later stages. We already see that there's a little bit of a stack there on the hard camp in the top lane, so maybe makes a rotation there to try and clear it out as well if he wants to.
Yeah, it's tripled even now.
Could be good.
Definitely.
And we haven't looked once pretty much at the bottom lane because guess what? There's not really anything that's going to happen there at all.
That's the boring lane. That's going to be like the trade farm lane until maybe Ice gets some like amazing opportunity with like higher level points in Ion Shell that he can stack up, but I don't really see Faith Beyond get solo kill very often.
Jabs, half HP, Snowball, trying to get him. They will hit on the Inkswell there though. A little bit of sticking around too long as Jab turns to fight. Will get brought down. But yeah, this Tusk, my god, he's living forever.
And DJ too, the right click's coming out from the Lich and the Visage. They can't quite get the vision.
And turns this as they want to try and take down MP. The punches, it's so slow with that Grave Chill debuff, and they want to try and kill him off. The snowball chase forward for more. MP, he's still living through this one, and DJ living as well as they move back in with jabs. They kill off the Tusk, who's gone too far finally, and suddenly it's all falling apart for EHOME. They're going to lose too.
That was quite a big mistake there by Tianming. They had stick charges on the Sven, and they committed forward for that one. It was looking great for them and then, just a little bit of an overcommitment. And the power, they have so much like damage reduction in this lane. When I see DJ, he is more than likely dead here. But like the damage reduction and the saves that they come out, like even throwing in Grave Chill, the attack speed slow, on top of them being able to use this Frost Shield, it's a lot of mitigated damage coming up in that top lane, and ASD is pulling super far ahead of Abed on the Tinker.
Yeah, this is kind of crazy. A full level?
This is amazing. Like, I know Abed's been moving around trying to get runes a lot, but ASD is owning this lane now.
I wonder how much of an impact that, taking the raises level 1 and forcing out another salve early ended up having.
Yeah, I mean, there's no bottle on Abed, and he's been going for runes constantly. It's definitely had a bit of an effect here.
Abed will stack up there while simultaneously shrining. MP is going to get hit here by the snowball with the war cry. The turn now onto Ego, but the Frost Shield there, it's onto the Tusk, which means that maybe a bit more of a target is this Visage, but they turn now onto the Tusk and see if they can kill him off. Still a little bit more HP to run through. The Soul Assumption might be enough. MP is going to die, and they miss there on the Stroke of Fate as well. Ego's still trying to run away. He is eventually going to be brought down. Very low armor on that hero. The tag team trying to turn, see if they can kill off DJ. The snowball dodge, yet again, it happens over and over again, and they aren't going to be able to quite get away. Why? Also dead. Jab's the big winner and all of that.
That is a fun. See, this is why we're not looking at the other lanes. This is the fun lane. This constant battles going between. I love tri-lane versus tri-lane when there's a Visage in the game. Because you see those constant soul assumptions being spammed out.
Such a low cooldown. He's only keeping it at level 1 right now. The mana cost does start to go down as the levels increase a little bit, but Grave Chill just so valuable.
Yeah.
Double null tally. Ready to punch people with that 70 base. Not bad.
They've now decided to start making the moves, though. We see they're trying to set up for a mid gank here with the Lich as well as the Tusk snowball in. With that Frost Shield, they can definitely look to close the gap with the Shadow Fiend. And okay, so it looks like ASD is going to be the hunter. This is the curiosity that I was coming around, is who's going to hunt the Tinker. He's going for the Yules build. So it's probably going to be Blink Yules on the Shadow Fiend to try to just shut down Abed. And there's the rotation.
ASD, that's the kill! The march! Abed. Yeah,
3 points in March.
They pull him in, and he ends up getting the kill. Nicely played there by Abed. I mean, maybe a little bit of an overextension too, but you could see ASD immediately running. He was like, I don't want to be in here anymore.
Very significant, getting the XP and everything.
Looks like DJ here is going to try and maybe stack up this camp again. You think about it, both mids would love to be able to come in and contest and find this stack.
They have to be, you'd have to imagine that EHOME is calling it, just being like, by the way, ASD, there's going to be like a quad stack top 3 when you want it. As mid, they're trying to set up for the kill, and they will with the triples.
Delayed triple raise, and there it is, Tinker. Abed immediately comes here to this top lane. Shadow Fiend gives him the tip first, and it looks like they're going to try and soak up some amount of experience from this one. The other heroes in the area, almost all of the big creeps taken.
He was able to make the move quite a bit faster than ASD was able to go top. But he's still behind in net worth in comparison to the shot.
Ice, 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 and Faith Beyond are just playing their own game over here. It's a different game.
Bottom side of the map is just, it's a 1v1.
I do love the wall drop down so you can farm a little bit more efficiently here with the Iron Shell on the Underlord creep.
He is getting out farmed though, quite a bit by Faith Beyond, just because of those denies. You see, like, Ice 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 has the same last hits, but some of those are jungle creeps, while in comparison, Faith Beyond, he's majority just sitting in the creep wave and getting those denies for extra money, too.
Top lane, DJ left alone. Another Soul Assumption. Snowball could pull more in, but instead just decides to bring himself. No mana left. Does have tag team in a second, chasing all the way in. Frost Shield, well played. But Lich might end up paying the price as Jabs moves into position. Only pops a sick charge, is still living through it, and now this Visage has been able to do so much damage. They will almost find this kill onto Jabs here. The second Soul Assumption going to connect and kill the God Strength from MP, but a snowball away! Oh, good play there by Tusk. He has a shard too if he wants to, and he's going to come back in and get the deny before he walks away.
Nicely done, Chongqing. Level, look at this, the level. You know, we've been talking a lot about like support levels have been very low in most of our games. This Tusk's level 5, Lich is almost 5, this is just close to 6-2. It just battles non-stop up here.
Sinister Gaze, more damage, but Phantom's Brace, and Chongqing needs to be careful. Not overextend. It's a battle for these runes.
Bottom lane though.
Trying to get it. They actually managed to find the kill. The rotation in from ASD. He's able to pick up those runes, and Lich couldn't get to the bounty in time.
They're really making JJ work here. looking for all these kills all over the place. That one was just a Requiem. He sat on the rune and Ice walked up and, yeah, Requiem into a raise.
Illusion.
Easy, easy. So yeah, 10-9, 10 minutes in.
Crazy.
They're bringing Southeast Asia to China.
Ah, this is really good fun. The last game we had like way less kills, right? Now this one is...
Oh, this is the Requiem that you're talking about here.
Yep.
Immediately into
quick and easy.
Well, he wasn't able to sneak away with the bounty rune that time.
Now we do have, it looks like Jabs is level 6 now and he's got a smoke, so maybe they're going to try to set up, I would imagine, onto the Shadow Fiend. I think going for the Underlord is, I mean, it's still a bit hard. He is out of mana though, actually. Faith Beyond is completely Ooh.
Oh, good pullback into that wall, and that's slow.
Okay.
Continuously applying. DJ's here as well. Have that ink swell forward, the Phantom Embrace, and eventually here they will be able to finally find that kill onto the Underlord.
All right, that's, yeah, I thought he actually had a little, if he had any more mana, then he could just Rift, right? He could just Rift play away from them. But yeah, not having any, and his Arcane Boots are still on cooldown too. They make the play, and they even didn't have to use the split. Now they're going for it in the mid lane.
Yeah, this was a big wraparound coming from the rest of EHOME as they and a couple of different heroes. Are they going to be able to find that kill onto ASD? Doesn't quite look like it. The Dispel, trying to see, he can get the Dispel though on the... Oh, the Frost Shield, and now Jab's going to pay the price. That was his first ulti, and it doesn't work.
He tried to do as much as possible there, though. He went bottom, not using the split, and then he wants to use it on the mid lane, almost gets the kill, but heavy rotations coming in from EHOME to protect their very farmed Shadow Fiend. So he's the hunter, like we were saying. He's going this Yule's, see what item it is.
These inventories just so funny, like the Bracer double Wraith Band.
Yeah, it's a little bit of magic resist, right? To
Yeah,
deal with the burst. It's a little bit tankier too.
Like Underlord's been able to get the better end of Darkseer as far as denies go.
Yeah,
makes sense.
I mean, Darkseer can't deny versus an Underlord. It's just atrophy builds up. Maybe now that he's 10 and he has a 90 damage talent on the Darkseer, but and a DD rune. Oh, ice.
Look at him, he's beefy.
DD rune in bottle, plus 90 damage talent.
Ready. So yeah, it's sort of been another little slow build-up here, it feels like, after the flurry of action that we had earlier. And now Fnatic going to make a move together towards the bottom lane, see if they can kill off Faith Beyond yet again.
And no towers are really being threatened except for that bottom one. They want to be able to solidify this one. But how's their TP situations looking on the rest of EHOME? They don't have one on SF, so I don't think they're going to try to fight down here. They got a couple coming in, but...
Alright, they pull him in.
No Shadow Fiend.
Snowball save for the moment. Ice. Has he overextended? They have the Pit of Malice down onto 2. Now the Chain Frost bounce it back and forth. Ice is going to fall. They might lose DJ as well. It has gone terribly. Oh, EHOME, they make the rotations. They will find one kill MP, but he pays the price. They lose Jabs. Triple kill for Faith Beyond.
All right, looked like they might not want to defend because the Shadow Fiend's TP is not up, but they've got Lich, and this Underlord is incredibly tanky. Yep. Chain Frost. Chain Frost under tower.
Well, that changes things. Suddenly a 4,000 gold lead.
Ego takes a full tower top, gets a full medallion, gets 2 full levels as well on the Visage out of it on top. That was a huge success for EHOME making that play. Just Faith Beyond too tanky.
14 minutes and things. The script has completely changed, I feel like. I mean, I guess that you still have the Tinker that's going to be able to hold off on a lot of the pressure on these towers.
Yeah, and they had great success with the Tinker. I didn't say this earlier because I didn't want to, put it off too much, but my one big problem with Tinker is it's like this, you're having an excellent game, it's your one death can lead to a GG.
Right.
That's the scariest thing always for these Tinkers for me. It's like one mispositioned blink, you get caught inside of a pit, you get caught by like a Visage Familiar or something, and you're just dead. So he has to be so careful.
They are looking down here bottom again onto Faith Beyond. I don't think that they're going to try again.
Oh, definitely not now. Now with Pipe and a Buckler on top.
Seems like it's really tough. EHOME in the meantime do push and take the mid tier 1 tower. So 2 tier 1 towers taken for EHOME, none yet for Fnatic.
And EHOME can even look to go for Roche pretty early, maybe even after they go for another fight here, because they've got the Medallion on the Tusk. They've got... Wait, do they have 2 Medallions actually? Oh. Yeah, they do. They have Medallion Tusk and Medallion Visage, but yeah.
Split here. Ice gonna think about running away, although they could chase forward for more. The Soulbind onto 2. Lift up onto 1, and the chase forward here as they get the vacuum away. It doesn't really do all that much though, and the Sinister Gaze follow-up. Chain Frost doesn't really bounce quite enough, it feels like, as they are going to potentially lose jabs. They kill off Ego though, not bad. Now the Rocket's starting to spam in from Abed, and well, they didn't really do as much as they would have wanted there. That pipe is just too good. Yeah,
they're way too tanky on these heroes because of Faith Beyond just positioning him there in the front line. That's, look at the top in the meantime. Like, AST wasn't even there. He's got Boots of Travel and the Yule's now finished up, and his team is fighting an engagement versus Bruce Split, the strength of Fnatic's draft, without their Shadow Fiend there.
Yeah, that's actually insane that he's about to get his bots.
Yeah. So now he can match the movements, and like we were talking about Hunt, and he queues up the Blink. This is what we have. Blink,
okay.
I was assuming that he'd go the Blink. I hadn't seen the Yules in a bit, so I wasn't too sure if he would. But yeah, now Blink Yules, he is the Hunter. He is the one that's going to go looking for the Tinker.
Yeah, and I mean, you compare that to what Tinker's working with right now. He doesn't even have his Blink yet.
Oh, he does not.
So you lose this Tinker once or twice at this point in the game, it's going to be really rough, as EHOME again going to pressure, taking down this tier 1 tower. And I mean, it's all good and well if you want to try and, you know, keep them off your towers with the Tinker, but it only works for so long.
It only works
that pipe going.
Especially like you have to be set up first there as the Tinker. Like as soon as they collapse on the tower, it's dead. So now, yeah, all tier 1's dead. And I was mentioning Roche earlier. There's definitely the possibility there for EHOME if they can find a one pickoff. They can go straight forward with all their Runny's armor and their Visage.
Who's going to be going for the full Solar Crest too? And you know, you can throw that on your Shadow Fiends, get that extra bit of attack speed as well.
Yeah, and they stack, right? Medallion for Solar Crest.
Right.
Like they can throw that on the Roche, and the Roche dies so much faster. But it looks like they're just going to make their way into it now, as we kind of expected.
Well, an easy Roche here potentially, unless we see some type of rotation coming. Tinker very low on mana though. He needs to be back up to full before he can make this rotation in, and it's just not going to happen quite quickly enough, it feels like. Jabs wants to move into position. They bring in the Underlord as well. It's actually not quite low enough yet, so Jabs is going to be able to move into the pit. The wall is dropped already. Okay. The beginning of something good here, as they've at least slowed this down. I really like that wall positioning.
Yeah, it kind of blocks them off completely from getting in it. I think they can move on like the bottom side of it and wrap around, but it's just perfectly blocking the entrance to that Rush Pit from that angle, and they don't want to go from the other angle. So they're just waiting this one out. We're just having the teams watch each other. They have a Tinker, so Tinker can go deal with the side lanes in the meantime, and then rejoin his team.
SF also is not here, but
to do the same.
Can obviously TP back in if he wants to. Roche is still very low. Looks like it'd be really tough for Fnatic to take it themselves.
They do not. Yeah, they're not Roche hitter. Their lineup doesn't do. Not till way later with Sven, but even then, it's nothing in comparison to EHOME's Roche hitting.
So heads up play there by Fnatic. They're able to stop the Roche pressure.
Yep. Now the smoke. So fight. They want to catch the Brew before he gets split off, and now they know that there's no Dark Steel wall. And they don't have. The big thing is too is that Fnatic. They've got a Vanguard on Ice, but he doesn't have a mech, he doesn't have a pipe. Underlord has the mech and the pipe, so they are significantly tankerier inside of this fight.
He's trying to get towards those Guardian Greaves. Does have mech almost done the jump in. ASD wants to blink in, a good pit of Malice. The follow-up is going to be there. A Soulbind, it's on to not really the heroes that they want it to be at all. Now, the second Stormhammer is going to go out, but that's 2 important heroes dead.
As soon as Jabs dies, there's no way that Fnatic can even think about taking a team fight. They found the perfect targets there. Both supports taken out right away. And very nice. Those smoke wraparound plays are always Great to see.
Ice doesn't care about their flame. He's just laughing it off.
Dude, that Grievous laughter is very agitating. I love it though. EHOME now. Getting a better control of this game, even more so. Having the blink. It seems like ASD is kind of like debating what he wants to go for next between the bots and the BKB on the Shadow Fiend, and switching it between both pretty consistently. Has now committed.
They say he's just going to give Faith beyond a punch.
Yeah, and they're picking up some pretty significant items here now too. Now a blink dagger and the tusk too, so further ways of trying to catch. And I mean, this Sven is starting to fall pretty far behind.
There's definitely reasons why we haven't seen this hero all that much. Good vacuum there, and able to interrupt, and just going to head back over, pick up the other runes. So 2 for 2.
Goes top, joins his team on the Underlord. Has the full Guardian Greaves coming on the Courier soon, so yeah, even more tankability and better team fight for them.
I mean, one thing that can sometimes make it a little bit easier, like one of the big issues that you always see with Sven is like kiting issues.
Yeah.
And eventually, like, AoE Surge feels like it could be a way to help deal with that, although we haven't seen some go the CDR as well. But it's just like, it feels like everything's a little bit slower right now from Fnatic.
Yeah, and even it's like, the one biggest concern too is, like, Sven, hard-hitting hero, right? If he gets Godchunk and he's able to focus on heroes, great. But they've got Frost Shield.
Yeah.
They've got Atrophy Aura. They've got Snowball Save. They've got a lot of different ways that even if they're not kiting the Sven, even if he is hitting people, his damage will be heavily mitigated.
And you know, some of that stuff, it's not dispellable with the brew either, so definitely an issue. Gonna need to solve that one, whether it's pickoffs or possibly just better movement, or at the end of the day, really just Tinker getting crazy farmed. But right now, he is not at that point.
Yeah, doing okay. Blink and Aether Lens, level 15. Pretty good timings, all things considered. But it has to be very, very cautious of where he's going. You see they've already placed a sentry up on the top usual Tinker ward that they have. I don't think it was actually placed by EHOME, but they're just trying to make sure that Abed's protected whenever he's doing these forest plays, because they know Tusk has a blink dagger now on top of the Shadow Fiend's blink, so lots of different ways for them to hunt, catch Abed.
So that 5,000 net worth lead, EHOME, what are they going to do with this Aegis? Maybe a tier 2 push in the near future. Obviously, you don't want to go high ground. Just straight up into a Tinker, but
I think they wait on the BKB timing of the SF. He'll have it pretty soon. They can take a fight outside the base still, but yeah, forcing high ground here, they're okay waiting. I mean, they've got a good scaling lineup, and they're probably like, I mean, it's a Sven carry. All they really have to worry about is really a Tinker in the later stages. Because Sven, I mean, he can, like. I don't know, Sven carry him so he can deal a lot of damage if there wasn't these abilities that really counteract him so hard.
Well, and the other thing too is that it's like Sven had been nerfed because of the changes to cleave and the fact that it's no longer just basically pure anymore. Ooh, he does go for the Spellhammer Dispels.
So okay, that can dispel the Frost Shield.
There you go.
There you go. That's one thing, so if you can focus fire. All right, neat.
I mean, because everybody talks about like Brew Split being able to dispel things. He missed one of them earlier.
He did.
It's not the easiest thing in the world, and it's also not reliable because you might not have your Brew Split up. Yeah. This is very reliable. Still the issues of burning through that armor, though.
Yeah, we're still tanky, like with the
Tinker wanted to jump on him there with Tusk. I don't really know what the thought would have been. Maybe a TP in with the Shadow Fiend afterwards, or Dark Rift possibly.
Yeah. I mean, the Tusk, he doesn't. He's something you can't really like think he doesn't do a lot of damage.
Yeah, that's true.
This guy, like Medallion plus a punch with tag team is.
Oh my god.
Tons of damage.
I say Size vacuum wall, but caught in the pit. Gonna eat the dirt. So 7,000 net worth lead now as one by one Fnatic hanging around there. They're behind, so it's just naturally going to be a little scary for them.
Oh my god. MP just hit the familiar and did 0 damage with God Strength.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. That ain't good.
And they can group together and go for this tower. They have an Underlord with plus 120, so easy bring down of this one. And the Tinker was not prepared to set up.
Shadow Fiend is so fast too.
Yeah, and BKB finished on top of that Blink Yule, so yeah, threats. It's like, if you get caught by Yule Scepter, that SF's gonna BKB Blink and ult on top of you, and there isn't a save on the side of Fnatic.
No. Not at all. Aegis is going to expire now. You are getting some of these items to maybe become more survivable. Darkseer finishing off that hood. The Aegis has been reclaimed, and
going full spellcaster on the Shadow Fiend. At least what he's queued up for now.
yeah.
Aghanims took the Spell Amp talent too, and we're going to see at level 20 if he does go for that Shadow Raise damage.
I mean, we've seen people kind of go away from this in the recent passes. Why do you think that is?
I think people just, they're like changes, right? They started like changing the way the armor is on towers and stuff, so people were like, oh, presence affects buildings, you're a damage hero, and you get the presence armor aura. Can be cool, but now he's got all these activatable items this game, so now this is probably the one where he's like, Shadow Raise damage and CDR look pretty favorable when you have Boots of Travel, Blink Dagger, Yules, BKB, literally all activatable across the board. So I think it just depends on what you're playing against and what build you want to go for.
Only a very versatile hero, and put in a draft with a lot of other heroes that make up for the problems that the spellcaster build goes. I mean, Visage still does a ton of damage.
He takes the Shadow Raise. Pretty telltale with what he was building. So the other big thing is we have to look for Fnatic is this is an old combo, a classic, is the Darkseer Sven. I think that's probably the biggest one for me that can bring, is if they can get this vacuum combo into a like AoE Stormhammer, and then they can actually bring them down. But that being said now, they had the BKB already finished on the Shadow Fiend, and if you look at Ego, a pretty non-traditional item that you see being built on him for the Visage this game is also a BKB to deal with that vacuum combo.
Yeah. It's a lot of answers. You'll have to dodge away from the rockets. Yeah, I think that it's also the type of thing where like you just have so many different ways that you can respond. Like even a snowball save potentially, if it's not hit together absolutely perfectly. And obviously there's the vacuum AoE talent that you can go for at level 15 for the Darkseer to try and set it up easier, but feels like it has to be a very chaotic fight. And that's something that Bruce Master can do, is sort of create some chaos first.
They kind of have to like hope it, they have to do it like perfect, right? Like the blink vacuum and the stun need to come at the exact same time, because otherwise they're going to get BKBs up and turn in. Another unorthodox BKB purchase on a hero is the Underlord. So the way to deal with the Tinker damage and then also to deal with that vacuum combo that we were discussing. Pretty cool. Pretty cool automation by EHOME. Really liking it.
Yeah, they've been looking very good. Buy BKB on literally everybody. Why not?
I mean, it's an old thing in like in China, right? We used to always talk about it as like they would wait, they'd farm up until they have the like triple BKBs on their cores, and then it's usually between that like 25 and 30 minutes that they go time. And that's exactly what they have right now, and we're probably going to see them do exactly that as they are looking for the smoke.
Well, Ice giggling to himself. Gonna kind of keep, again, it's just him and Faith Beyond in the bottom lane. Just gonna stick around that area. Firestorm, Ion Shell.
Okay, he's finished the pipe. He had the blink queued up. He's just gonna go for tanking, it seems like. So, I guess because he sees these BKBs and stuff, but...
Oh, he can't die here. The chase.
Ooh.
He's gonna get out of there. Yeah, the other little caveat to watch for is going to be, of course, getting all of the auras that EHOME have by virtue of the Darkseer wall. So let's say that you manage to steal or get Shadow Fiend caught in that, all of a sudden the minus armor starts working against them as well.
Yeah, if you can get a good wall off too. Could add some things.
28 minutes.
DD Rune and the Roche is back.
Aghanim's done for the Tinker.
All right.
DD Ego.
Ooh. Lich, Innocence.
Looking for that opening. Not bad. Snowball saving for the moment. Still soul binded to one of the Visage birds. He's going to be pulled all the way in, and now going to try and get that split off. Doesn't look like it's quite going to be enough. The Chain Frost doing a lot of damage, but it was telling to the BKB Sven, so Lich is already dead. Everybody from Fnatic is still living through this one for the moment, and now chasing forward for more. The Requiem comes out, but it's not quite enough to kill off that Tinker. ASD wants to make it happen. It's not happening at all. They take the AoE vacuum, and now walking back through the wall. The Tinker is going in for another round. They pop the BKB from Faith Beyond, trying to run away, but it looks like this is actually pretty decent for Fnatic here.
That was perfect for Fnatic. Just like the way they got the teamfight set up. The Sven got the two supports on the side. He was able to focus fire the Lich as well on the Tusk. And the rest of his team was in like the perfect position on that high ground. I mean, the Tinker able to survive and get all of his spells off and then get surged away from that Shadow Fiend. That was pretty much the dream fight for Fnatic there.
Suddenly the net worth lead gets cut into a little bit. That Roche doesn't get taken easily. It was all the BKBs. Oh my god.
Abed has to be careful.
Line of sight. He doesn't get away.
Yeah, he pinged. He knew that the sub was hunting.
That sub's gonna just TP out of there also. Well, it is something to consider if that Lich does get taken out at the beginning.
Yeah. I mean, he got the Chain Frost off too. He got his spells off, but yeah, it looked like it was. I saw some. I don't know if I'd have to like relook at it, but I saw the Soulbind. It was initially attached to like the Visage and to the Tusk, and I think he snowballed and dragged the Soulbind with him.
And then it was stuck to the two of them.
Him and the Lich. Yeah, that was interesting. And like speaking of Soulbind, they have the combos, and if you look at DJ, he's been banking pretty hard. Like only 2,600 away from a Hex on the Grimstone.
DJ always gets farm.
Yeah, they'll have the combo with the Soulbind plus that. Yeah, we're going to see this one again. So there you see the Soulbind, and the Tusk actually drags the Soulbind and gets it attached to both him and the Lich on the side there. And the Sven's able to focus fire, and everybody's just kind of trapped there from jabs inside of this team fight. And Abed goes to work. Even though he gets caught, the Yules, ASD wasn't able to get the full Requiem damage on.
Yeah, had to blink and then BKB walk.
Yeah.
Fortunate there, but of course Ice, big plays there, able to surge away his buddy butt. He'll walk into the middle of everybody, jabs. Is he going to initiate it on right from the get-go? Has the split in 1 second, but he couldn't get it off in time. Buyback immediately. Wants to run back into this. The Soulbind, they're catching on to both of them. They jump in with the spin, bring him down to 10% HP, and Ego likely to fall here in the last second. Can they manage to find this kill? They're still chasing the Chain Frost to try and interrupt the chase coming, and the Grave Chill to walk away, but the slowdown from the Stroke of Fate. ASD will have a blink in a second if he wants to jump up onto the high ground. The chase forward for Ego with all his stacks of Gravekeeper's Cloak running away. They will find that kill.
They used the Requiem on the TP of jabs after he bought back and went in. ASD just blows him up, and then they just go for the disengage because they don't actually have the ways to get on top of the Tinker in the backlines if they'd already committed the Requiem. Again, Fnatic in the same positioning, able to throw these like tanky frontliners in and have the Tinker in the back. It's actually starting to work out for them. They've cut this network lead heavily.
Yeah, now just trying to take down Roche. Faith Beyond just bought a Blink Dagger and is having it brought out on the Courier right now. The Pit already down. They're trying to take Roche. This is really deadly as everybody is moving back into position. Shadow Fiend is going to be here shortly. They pop the BKB, jumps into the middle of everybody. He wants to try and take the step. He took the 70 damage talent. He's beating his ass. They kill him off. Now going to move in for the Roche as well. Ice. Can they take it down? They're able to get the blind. The jump forward. Roche, Aegis on the ground. He's picking it up. Ice takes the Aegis. Going to come back in a second. The BKBs are going to wear off shortly. ASD just tries to TP out of there. Does not want to stick around at all. And now the Sven, God's strength, chasing down Faith Beyond. A stun to follow, snowball save, but it might just be to their death as the BKB has already popped. And now the chase. There's the double Stormhammer and gonna find that Tusk as well. Gorgeous play from Fnatic as they're gonna use the Shrine, but to no avail.
Oh, so fortunate that they got the Aegis. DJ also got the cheese out of that too. Didn't even have to use it. Oh my, that was very nicely done there. You saw Faith Beyond with the 70 attack speed. Just blinks in and starts hitting them, but yeah, they were able to get that Aegis, which is the game changer.
I mean, it did get reclaimed immediately afterwards, but still, it's like keeping him alive in that fight. It made the difference, and
DJ gets
Sven's
exploded.
A hero. Oh.
ASD found him bottom, just Yules Requiem. Yeah.
Oh, Tinker. Moving in. I can't get him. Shadow Fiend's about to hit that level 25 talent.
Yep. It's constant. These items that he has will always be up. The BKB will be up constantly too, and he's queued up the Hex, and of course, yeah, 40% CDR talent when he's got all these activatable items like we mentioned earlier. Hex will make it a lot easier for him to get on top of that Tinker. But Fnatic's done an excellent job in these last few situations. Kind of in the same area, right? All the fights that they took that were advantageous for them. Right on their high ground there.
You can see that it's been a while for Fnatic, something good going their way. Very long period of time since the last towers were killed.
Yeah.
So only a 3,000 gold lead now. And Abed Tinker well and truly online. Still does feel like EHOME, if they manage to take the fights correctly, like that last one was a huge just skirmish trying to salvage the Roche.
It's really big about just, can they get the backline? Like Abed's been, he's 4-1-5. Like he's just been freely casting everything all the way in the back, and he pretty much has a full Hex on top too, so they're going to have a lot of different ways now to synergize with this Soulbind. Almost 2 Hexes finished on the side of Fnatic.
Ice wanting to go in. Oh, but he doesn't decide to go for it with Inkswell.
I mean, that's another combo they can do, right? Inkswell, vacuum. I mean, the thing is that the Inkswell wants to... It only builds up the stun if it's taking the damage, right? So...
Yeah.
But it's all a bunch of different combos you can do.
Being very concerned for Ice's sanity. We all are. The Sheep Stick is going to be finished now for that Tinker. The Daedalus was done for the Sven. It feels like this is one of those timings.
As long as Abed doesn't get picked off. If Abed gets picked off, he has no buyback. So has to be very, very careful with this position.
Speaking of buybacks, it's only the Grimstroke and the Darkseer right now that have it. So they did buy back on the Sven in one of those earlier engagements.
Yeah.
Also DJ decided to go for that Glimmer Cape. Does have the Sheep Stick.
Almost done, yeah.
Really close. Oh, also the Shadow Fiend has one done.
Yeah, he was switching between Shivas and that, and I think Hex is better to hunt for the Tinker. It's also good versus Sven because at some point Sven's BKB is gonna get low. So just kiting is always great. Kiting in control. And has an Arcane Rune on top too. So this Shadow Fiend is when he pops his bottle with that 40% CDR plus the Arcane Rune, he's gonna have his abilities and his items up very often.
5-person smoke. It's gonna break on the Lich. And actually it's Abed that it breaks on, but they're moving up to the high ground. Faith beyond the one that's leading the charge. Jabs walks towards Cinderbrew, already out, trying to chase. Ice, finding a wall, not going to hit onto anybody. The whole duration of this BKB used on the Snowball, and meanwhile they're able to find the follow-up stun. Can they do it in time? ASD, he blows up Abed! He's gone! 70 seconds, they do kill off that Underlord, but now the rest of Fnatic need to get the heck out of here as the chase comes, and, well... MP lifted up again in the air. That BKB, no more use at all. The Chain Frost is going to bounce back and forth between these heroes. It is well and truly time to see if they can escape. ASD gets that BKB off, and the chase forward from the Sven wants to find the kill, but I don't think he can really do it here. The birds are chasing, the Sinister Gaze is there, and Fnatic are going to lose 3.
Oh, and I was just saying that Abed, right? If he gets picked, he just spent the gold on the Hex. ASD they have a ward on the high ground. As soon as he sees Abed come in, he's just like, okay, Blink heals Requiem, and that's a free kill. And now, since he had Arcane Rune and he had his CDR talent, Requiem's back up again already.
Did he get his BKB off twice in that fight, it felt like?
It felt like he did.
So, rough stuff there for Fnatic. Nobody has buybacks, and after a solid win in the Roche Pit, they're suddenly staring at a 7,000 net worth lead. More importantly, tower is potentially going to be taken.
Acronym's on the Visage finish too, with the familiar to movement speed talent. So, I mean, his damage is also crazy. That's the thing. It's like you saw the Sven. As soon as he's isolated, the Visage familiar start beating on him. Easily taken down.
Tinker going to respawn now.
There is a Hex on DJ finished. Will they be able to finish off the racks? The birds are trying.
Oh, it's close. They do a lot of damage.
They're getting Cinderbrewed though, and they're hitting themselves.
It's about the best they can do, but
they will.
Yeah. I don't know if they're going to be able to find a second one. They do have another laser here from Abed in a second, but it's so scary walking up there and trying to hit one of these birds. And you just know that there's a Blink Hex Requiem come out.
Dire's bottom shrine is under
I mean, ASD's played this very well this game. I love that he went for this build I'd mentioned in the beginning too. It was absolutely perfect for this type of game.
Exactly what his team needed from him.
Yeah.
bottom shrine has fallen.
Likewise, Ego been able to have a very good time on this Visage out of that tri-lane where it was just madness earlier.
It's been madness a lot of times in the fight too, the chaos, because he's getting collapsed on and he has to, I mean, that's why these BKBs come into play, right? BKBs, if he gets a Grave Chill, he can actually disengage. Yeah. And you had even mentioned in the last fight too, it's like the power of this snowball save. It's the whole duration pretty much of the Sven's BKB if he initiates. If there's a snowball save afterwards, MP comes out and he's like, uh-oh, I'm a Sven with no BKB.
They're thinking about jumping on this guy. And it does feel like the Tinker needs that BKB, which he's now building towards.
Yeah, he can't get, if he just gets Yules or Hexed, he's just dead in the fights.
SD jumps forward, there's the Hex trying to chase, MP there at the beginning, and they kill off DJ. He's still living through his lord for the moment, but not long enough. They do kill off that Shadow Fiend. Lift up onto one, the chase forward for more. Chain Frost is not bouncing anymore. They're all isolated, but no, but Abed, he gets caught! Oh, Ego makes the play that they needed, and again, no buyback on that Tinker as they're gonna try and chase down Ice, the Yule Scepter lift up. And this has gone from bad to worse for terrible for Fnatic. They're gonna Sinister Gaze back in Ice, give the man the tip, and then send him to the grave.
Huh. I thought that might have been I was a little concerned there because he resummoned the birds as the Shadow Fiend bought back and boosted traveled on him and canceled them, but nah, they were more than strong enough as soon as he isolates the Tinker. Again, this is what I had mentioned from earlier is I love this hero, but it can be this point where you just get caught by anything and you're dead. And your 20,000 net worth is just feeling like it doesn't do that much.
ASD just asserting dominance here in the enemy team's base. Raise after raise. They kill off that Sven and set their eyes on the tier 4 towers. GG is about to be called because I don't think there's any way they stop this. Jump forward, Requiem again, find the raise, get the kill. With no regard for human life, ASD is just styling on people. They're going forward towards this Aegis as the Walrus Punch lifts up, and EHOME are going to send them home. GG.
Yeah, definite GG. ASD played this one incredibly well, and I would love to look at the lane too, the way that he played it, because the Tinker was doing great, and then I went to go look for runes, and him just the Shadow Fiend using the courier constantly in the lane. Yeah. The first 5 minutes was literally just Tango Mango, Salve Mango, and then he gets a stat item, and he pulled ahead of Abed quite significantly and had a tremendous game.